most people in construction know very little about the media and PR and all of this sort of stuff in any case. So they're naturally distrustful of it. And because they don't understand it, they're nervous, and it's not their natural state. So generally, in my experience, they outsource it. You know, and you're right. A lot of the people at the top do not want to enter into conversations with normal journalists, let alone unscripted podcasters. And I think that's a great shame, because they've got such an amazing story to tell. And most of the people I know who work in the industry are brilliant people. And there have been so many great advances. I mean, I'm incredibly proud of the construction industry in this country. And it's such a shame that they're not more on the front foot and confident, so they can express that, because I think they'd win people over very quickly. Now, there's always people who've done things wrong in the construction industry. You know, nothing is 100% perfect. But if you look particularly on the major schemes, you know, the major schemes that are brought forward in our cities, you know, things like health and safety are just exemplary. And if you've ever been on a building site, it's an incredible learning experience for anyone who's a manager. I have this thing about building sites. You know, when you go onto a building site, first of all, your induction is strict. You know exactly where it is, where you've got to behave, and step, and all of those sorts of things. And you know, if you see a piece of timber on the ground, it's everyone's responsibility to pick it up. So there's a great sense of teamwork on a building site that I've not seen in an office, for example. In an office, if we have, as I say, the equivalent of a piece of timber lying on the floor, i.e. someone who's useless, we all step around it. You know, nobody picks it up and gets onto it straight away. I think construction managers should come in and teach office politics and management. They'd make a lot of money. In any case, I think they do amazing stuff, and it's a shame they're not more confident to come and explain what they're up to, and embrace this sort of discussion and conversation.
Was this a battle or something that you had when you owned your media company? And we'll go on to how you built that up, because I'm interested in discovering that with you as well. But was that one of the constant battles that you had to try and persuade your clients to entertain and to go into this type of conversation?
Yes, definitely. Well, podcasts are relatively new in that regard, and so I think more and more people are doing them. But generally, being relaxed around journalists was something that you had to help people understand. And there were some people who were very good at it, and not everyone was bad, but I think it was lacking the understanding of the opportunity and the nature of PR. As I say, a lot of people go into media relations now thinking it's an area you can control, and it's not. So as long as you understand that and you see the upside, and also being honest. Actually, I'm going to backtrack on that bit of advice. Sometimes being just clearer about what you want to say, rather than because I know there have been disasters when people have been very honest.
So it's more to do with the clarity as opposed to the honesty, is what you're saying?
It's
understand your message that you want to get across.
Yes. What I mean is you don't turn up to a podcast and say I've had a really bad day, and and I've just fallen out with a client.
Yeah.
We don't want that honesty,
Yeah.
but I think being able to get your point across and being more confident is really important.
So you built a business up from scratch to something that was significant. Whether you're happy disclosing what that was at the end, I'll leave that for you to decide. But I'm interested in what advice you would give to someone that's out there at the moment trying to do the very thing that you had from the ground up with all of the various digital assets and options and things that they have at their disposal. What advice would you give that startup?
I'm not going to start up another business because I don't want to. However, I think about this all the time, and I think that there is a massive opportunity. I mean, if I was 30 years younger, this would be amazing. First of all, with the AI tools that you have to promote your business, it is much, much easier than it used to be. I think for women, it's easier than it was. I'm not saying it's perfect, but it definitely is easier. And the opportunity to promote yourself and get to market, reach your target audience is better than it's ever been. The other thing, and this is going to be a bit more controversial, is for the people who want to really work hard, you know, the world's your oyster. Because I say this to some people I know who've moved over here from Australia. And I think when you move over, when you come from somewhere else and you come to London, it's like, oh my God, everyone's going to be so brilliant and it's so competitive and it's going to be really, really hard. And actually, if you want to work really hard and be smart, you can achieve anything, because there are a lot of people who don't want to do that anymore. So the gap has actually widened in a way that I've not experienced in my lifetime. So if I had my sort of energy and determination that I had back then in this market, I think I could go actually further faster than I did back then. So be confident, but you've got to work hard. You know, there's no, if you want to run a business, there is no work-life balance. It melds all into one thing, and you've got to be prepared to go for that. Otherwise, don't start a business, but don't hedge your bets thinking that you can start a business, have a wonderful lifestyle, and it'd be easy. It'll be hard, but you've got to work hard. But also, I really enjoyed it, so it didn't feel like a great sacrifice. I mean, you know, my stepson and my son all lived with, you know, a working woman who was working all the time. They're okay. I mean, there were times back then I thought, oh my God, I was doing the wrong thing, and, you know, am I failing? And actually, I didn't fail them.
Thanks for watching to the end. I think that you'll like this, but before you do that, just make sure that you've commented and liked below, and also that you subscribed.